Good day, good people. As per we discussed today on the call, we're going to make a few changes. So I'm going to break down my trade ideas for the coming weeks in a separate video. That way, you know, we have time during the call to discuss what we need to discuss, in a group dynamic, and it will cut down on the time of the video. Okay. Some people just want to come uh, for the trade ideas or breakdown of the trade ideas, and maybe this will actually help, um, you know, struggling traders within the group kind of uh, get into the headspace of the people who are actually finding a little success. Okay, I want to back up a little bit. Coming into January, first week, we got this bearish order block. Last week, price bought up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and refib this bearish order block. I'm going to re-put my zone. My horizontal rate at the 78. So the expectation was for price to buy up to the zone, in between the zone and the 78, so we can look for a position to sell the market, okay? We didn't actually take this trade. We took GN, which actually moved. But since this trade is still in that general area, I want to break it down and talk about it, right? So this is the bearish order block. This is the pullback. This is Friday, so NFP news, the trade pull way back, basically the equal highs right here, a little bit less than equal highs, but very close. There's an actual imbalance above where price is now. It's always a possibility that we go up to that imbalance before we start selling. However, maybe we don't. We're respecting this current 4-hour order block, and I don't have a problem with that. Price, this would be my zone. And if I'm looking at this on the 1 hour, for me, we had a group of lows right here, kind of that we discussed during the meeting. We broke that level, we pulled back up. So I would look for price to give me an entry. Maybe it gives me an entry when the market first opens. As long as we respect this order block, I'll be good to go. And if I got in this trade, I would put my stop loss above this wick, and then I would target my low down here. Okay, so if I do take this trade, the target is about 167 pips, which qualifies for my trade that I would need to flip my account. And that's it as far as EN. My stop loss, if I took this trade based on this setup, is about 32 pips. So it gives me 5-to-1 risk reward. Hopefully you understand that. If it breaks this high, then that would invalidate this particular entry. But again, there is an imbalance right above that level. So you kind of have to watch your structure, okay? So if it was me personally and I entered, I don't use a stop loss, I use a hedge. But if our hedge got picked up, I wouldn't even sweat it. I would get back in the trade once it got to the imbalance that we pointed out on the 4-hour. Let's go back and look at it again. Once it entered this imbalance and you get your rejection, right? You get your push away and your pullback, then I would re-enter at that point to take the trade. So if I lost that first one, so be it, as part of the game, because I know I would make the extra pips This time coming from a little bit higher, my pip count would now be in the 200s. So I would give up 30 pips to collect an additional 30 pips. So it is what it is. You have to do the math, make it make sense for you. On the bigger picture, we already have this break of structure here and the pullback. So we know the trade is going to happen. The entry is just what it is. It's a finding a level that you're comfortable with, right? That's not too big stop loss wise, that's in the proper place pullback wise. If we were taking this trade last week, this would have been a perfect entry when price came back up to here. But again, we know we took a trade last week. It was not this one. But since this trade is still in the area, we are going to I am looking to take an entry on this trade. And for me, this is a bearish 4-hour order block. This is a pullback. So in my opinion, the trade should bump up a little bit and just start selling at the start of next session. All right, that's about it. Man, it's sort of a relief that people aren't here peppering me with questions. Overcomplicated. All right, EA is pretty close to the same thing, right? I still have my markings on this chart from last week. Price bought up the same way that it did on that last pair. So let's drop down to our areas of interest. Again, we had this as our golden zone. This was our 78. There's an imbalance right here. So to me, this is where I would want to enter this trade. And we're not quite there yet, for this particular pair. But prices on a 4-hour, we have a bullish order block, and it's approaching this area. So if you don't like the last setup, this is it doesn't get much better than this. If we do get the turnaround right there, which, I would, if I was a betting dude, I would bet a lot of doggone money that we're going to get that entry. And for this particular pair, I would trade this down to this imbalance about the midway consequent encroachment, 437.8 pips. Not only do I like it, but I do like it a lot. This is a grade A setup as far as I trade. I trade displacement, right? We have an order block up here. We have a break of structure, right? We broke these lows. So we have another order block here, but we got order block, we got a break of structure. And if you fib from this high to this low, then your 78 is going to be right here. You can clearly see the imbalance right there. That imbalance is a grade A setup for me. That is a no-brainer entry spot that I'll look to take this trade and hold it. 400 pips is that's a 4. I can flip my account 4 times. If I had a $100 account and traded $1 a pip, I would end up making $400. So my account would be $500 at the end of this trade. That's significant. So don't overthink it. If it gives you the entry, it gives you the entry. That's my second trade. So we have EA, we have EN, and I like UJ. It's a little bit more complicated. But I like it anyway. We'll go to UJ and let me get rid of these. All right, UJ. If I go to the weekly, I know what you're saying. Todd, it ain't showing me nothing. All right. And I'm with you. But just let me do my thing, y'all. Let me do my thing. Let me do my thug dizzle. All right. If I fib this down move, right? If I fib that down move, because to me, that's all that is, the impulse move down and a pullback. And this is my 78, that's my 88, right? So I would look for a price to push back down. Okay, so regardless of whether you feel like it's pushing down further or if it's pushing up higher, there's room for a trade in there, right? And for me right here, this low got validated. But who cares, man? Who cares? This is a swing low, right? Market went from here to here, from here to here to here. This is a higher high than this one, which makes this a qualified swing low. So whenever we broke this low, there was our change of character or our market structure shift. So if I fib the move down and look for the pullback up, this trade is about at my sweet spot, right? That at my optimal trade entry. So, you know, we're gonna ride with it. We're gonna ride with it. We're gonna ride with it like it's selling, y'all. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. There are a few things that trigger or the tip the sell for me. This imbalance right here, we did tap that imbalance. We tapped that imbalance and we fell away. All right. Price closed below these old highs that we just ran. That's called a liquidity grab. So this liquidity grab was my signal, right? It was my signal telling me that we're going to sell. Now, I can argue with y'all about us selling all the way down here, or I can just sell this down to flip my account, my 100 pips. So if I sell this down just to this first imbalance, that's 312 pips, y'all. So I'm not going to argue with you, okay? I'm just going to mark my chart. I can give you 30 confluences. I just showed you this pull back to the 78. We tapped that imbalance. That's one confluence. Another confluence is we got an order block down here. We got this move up that broke structure, right? It broke this structure. So if I fib the move just from this last wave of the market, if I fib this move, this is saying that we need to pull back to my golden zone, which is here, and the 78 is here, which I agree. So everything about this trade tells me that honestly that we need to come down here, these 600 pips. But I'm not going to get on this Zoom call and tell you to look for 600 pips. I'm just going to tell you that this is a grade A setup for me. And if you collect 300 pips, you're good, you know, because you'll probably collect these pips before most people in America go to work. If the market sells first, if the market goes up and taps in deeper into this imbalance, then it's really going to be on and popping. So the beauty about these trade setups is you don't have to take action until the trade does exactly what you want to do. So in the event that we start selling, let me go to this 4 hour. Oh, it's a bearish order block. Exactly. In the event that we start selling, you know, you just drop down to the 15-minute time frame. I know I told a lot of y'all to stay off the 15-minute time frame. And you let price come up to this imbalance, and then you get in that trade. And you go short, baby, short, short, short. You short that thing. You protect the high on this 15-minute chart. I'm going to protect the high of this order block, not that high right there, but I'm going to protect the high of this order block, and then I'm going to target these 330 pips, and that give me a 1 to 10 RR. I don't need anything crazier than that, but you know, more than the RR, I just want the pips. To tell you the truth, I don't really care about the RR. I care about the pip count because you know what I'm doing is I'm trying to flip. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's all, folks. That's it. Those are my 3 creme de la cremes. those might not be creme de la creme for you. And I understand that. And I'm cool with that. Just respect my hustle and respect my thug dizzle. If you don't want to take this trade so far down, there are equal lows right here, which lead into an imbalance. We're likely going to get a reaction from that point. So maybe you want to take your profit here at these lows, which is 237 pips. I respect you, player. Handle your business. Your account will be flipped. You can get in, get out, and get on with your day. And you'll be done. These trades are going to pop off next week. And, I'll decide which one of them is good. Eventually, when we start that 100 pip challenge, either myself or Kim will call the trade. And we'll be able to trade that trade. We're probably going to get on that thing around the first. We get everybody. We'll do all the admin stuff, and then we'll get live. We'll get cracking on the first probably. All right, guys. Hopefully I didn't speak too quickly. Hopefully you guys understood what I was putting down, and appreciate your time. And I'll see you in those market streets.